Canberra Metalheads.
The Archives.
Me and You Season 2. Alright, let's kick it.
Hello and welcome to the interview section of Canberra Metalheads. You got Marky Malphas
and JDecay.
And tonight we're joined here with...
Hey, my name's Sean. I do vocals in Make Them Suffer.
Perfect, man. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
We've
super stoked on this one.
Man, we've been queuing up this gig and sort of plugging it. It sort of came up with heaps of notice, which is cool. We really dig that when it comes to bands coming through.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So yeah, tour got up and running real quick, so we had plenty of time to plug it and
fantastic.
Play some tracks.
This has been a long time coming. We've been excited about this tour for a while, so
sick, man. Awesome. We kind of opened me up to a few bands I hadn't heard before, like Saviour, as well.
Yeah, Saviour are homies from Perth. We've been like our first ever couple of shows. We started I think about 6 months before Saviour started playing gigs, and we both used to play the same all-ages local venue in Perth, I suppose, which was the YMCA HQ, Leederville Skate Park, which if you ever watched the music video for Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em by Parkway Drive, it's that room, the small stage with all the gig posters on the wall.
Yeah.
So that's where, us and Saviour have been playing shows together for forever, since
man,
2009.
That's years, man, because I remember... listening to Parkway when they came out. Man, everyone I knew had a Parkway shirt, when I was in high school.
That's right. It was that one with the blue skull and the red roses, and it was like, that was the go-to shirt, hey.
Man, it was like it's like we coordinated it, everyone had their 3 points of Parkway merch at any time.
Yeah, and then there was also that one particular piece of Job for a Cowboy merch that was like the ram skull with the yellow flowers around it and stuff, and the yellow logo across the top. Like that
Job for a Cowboy, Suicide Silence, all that stuff.
Yeah, there was a couple frequent merch items for sure that were just like go-tos.
Yeah, dude. And being down the coast, I grew up down the coast, the south coast of New South Wales, and there was Parkway was massive there, and so was the hardcore scene, which kind of led more into similar bands to what we've got tonight as well, with the harder, the heavier hardcore stuff, deathcore stuff, and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that in Perth, around the time when us and Saviour were playing a lot of shows, prior to that, the bands that were really killing it in Perth were bands like Break Even and Miles Away.
Yep.
Which are both Perth-based, hardcore bands or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so I think Saviour a lot of bands were influenced by those type of bands that would use the brighter chords, and then bands like For the Fallen Dreams and the Ghost Inside started popping up all over the shop. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, I don't want to speak on Saviour's behalf, but yeah, definitely. Hardcore was definitely a thing around that time, for sure.
Awesome, man. We're hoping to actually have a quick chat with Saviour later, so they'll be able to weigh in on it as well.
Sweet.
But it's good to hear your take on it, man. We've played, as I mentioned before, off mic, we played 27 and Widower on the show before. But you also said that you've got a new track out now. You want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, it's our most recent song we put up probably just under a week ago now. It's called Hollowed Heart.
Yep.
It's definitely one of the heavier tracks that we've done in ages. It might actually be one of our heaviest tracks that we actually have. Yeah, it's a pretty aggressive track, full of emotion, and a lot of parts for people to go pretty nuts over and mosh on. So yeah, it's definitely probably our angriest track that we've done in a long time. I feel like the nature of the song and the subject matter and everything gave us something to be really angry about. Yeah. And I think it's kind of translated into the music, and you can really feel that aggression and passion in the song. So yeah.
That's good to hear, man. A lot of metal in general, but metal specifically, but music in general is about showing that passion behind a matter or something like that. What sort of process did you go through in writing it? Did you have any input towards the writing? Did you do most of the writing? What sort of input did you have?
The way that we've been writing songs recently is Nick will basically write a whole lot of riffs.
Yep.
And then I'll start. They'll some of them will join together, others won't, and then I'll kind of chop it up and structure the song around the way that I want the vocals to go and sort of figure out, oh, this is more of a verse riff or whatever, or this sort of vocal pattern suits here. So Nick will basically give me a riff bank. I'll chop it together. Sometimes keys come beforehand, sometimes they come afterwards. Just depends on the nature of the song and how melodic it is, I guess.
Perfect, man. That's good. It's interesting to hear that style. We hear about a whole bunch of different styles, people just jamming and then getting songs out of it. And then also, like you mentioned, chopping it up. We had a band on the show previously where the drummer actually chops the rest of the band up.
Oh, right.
So he actually influences the writing style, which is interesting because actually we had a band where the drummer does the writing as well. So many different dynamics. Yeah, I think when a drummer does the writing or has a large say in the writing, it creates a pretty interesting. Like speaking with Born of Osiris, I don't want to speak on their behalf, but from when we toured with them and from what I gathered, like Cam, their drummer, has a large say in the writing process, and I think you can kind of hear that in their music with all the different tempo changes. Oh man, time signatures and stuff. They're actually playing here soon as well. So yeah, that's right. Part of that tour. So that'll be wild. It's insane.
Big fortnight, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's it, man. So you guys are from Perth, yeah, and you've that's the connections with Saviour as well, being from Perth as well. Yeah, for sure. What's it like, comparing the metal scene across the country? Well, Perth is since HQ, the local venue that I was talking about before, that kind of got unfortunately they failed some government safety inspections, and as a result, the venue capacity, what the room could hold, got cut down for safety precautions and stuff. So it shows there haven't been the same as what they were. I don't think there's as much of a all ages scene, but I think in the last as what it was when we used to play shows and stuff. But actually, I think in the past couple of years, we've seen a couple of Perth bands start popping up. It seems to be a bit more vibrant. I think just across the board in Australia in general, I feel like there was, from 4 or 5 years ago until now, there was a bit of a dip, and I feel across Australia in general in terms of the local community and local shows. It felt like you were either coming to one of the biggest shows or there wasn't much of a local scene in general. And I think there's been a new influx of heavy bands that have kind of revived more of a local scene, and it's picking up traction very slowly. But I think now in Perth and around Australia, we're starting to see a few more local bands popping up, and I think that's good. It's like the sign of a breath of fresh life, I suppose, into the heavy metal industry or heavy music industry. And when you've got a younger fan base, it means that you've got longevity there. So I think it's a positive thing. Yeah, excellent, man. Covered off a fair bit with the scene and things like that. I mean, you mentioned also earlier on touring with Saviour and also playing with them in the early days. What sort of crazy tours have you had over the years? Is there any that have really stuck out? Ooh, bands that you've played with. I think that all our US tours have been really great. Our first tour over there was with August Burns Red, which absolutely killed it over there. Then the next tour after that was with Architects and Straight from the Path. That tour did really, really well. And then since then, we were touring with After the Burial in the States, who were playing tonight. We were touring with After the Burial. We were touring with Born of Osiris after that. Yeah. And then we're going to be over there before the end of the year. So there's been some great US tours. Australia-wise, I mean, I think a big sort of accomplishment for us was touring with Bleeding Through on their farewell tour. Yeah. Especially in the older stuff like Never Bloom era, you can definitely hear quite a lot of Bleeding Through influence, I think, in our music. So that was a tick off the bucket list, I would say. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Back to the band shirt days, man, of being in high school, Bleeding Through is another one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, that album, The Truth, the album artwork is so iconic, I think, of that time as well. Yeah.
and MySpace and stuff.
Yeah, man. Like you just got like memories flooding back. You got like Bleeding Through, Atreyu, Bebo, like using Bebo instead of Facebook, like like
that's right.
MySpace and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just
that was
all coming
crazy.
back.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, man, like mostly it's stuck with a lot of people.
So many people. Yeah.
As well as like, dude, like people from that group, that age group, are having kids now, and they're starting the next generation. Like I know all the metal I listened to was early influenced by my parents.
Yeah.
Like it starts a new wave of fans.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's so important. That's why, you know, more than any other genre, I think like heavy metal is one of those genres where when you first get into it, you do the groundwork of it. You know, you will go back and check out Metallica and Slayer and the roots of everything. Like,
work
you
backwards.
Just don't get that yeah, exactly. You work your way from backwards and kind of like learn a bit of the history of it.
Yep.
Because it gets passed down.
Yeah.
From generation to generation, and I think you see that more in metal than any other genre, for sure.
Yeah, it's like everyone seems to be fairly. It's like a research type thing, like because there's so many different genres and styles and eras. You tend to want to listen to everything to see where you what you like.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not exactly linear. A lot of people will just listen to like a track on the radio and not listen to it very deeply or go into the history of the song.
Why is it that I like this track over the other track? You know, what's going on here? Whereas I think that people get so invested in metal, and like if I was to trace back my lineage, my metal journey of like listening to all the different bands and genres and how I've, like jumped between them, it'd be a pretty messy web, I would say. It's definitely a big rabbit hole that's quite easy to fall down, and I think it's good. It's been an enriching experience for sure.
Dude, I've done that thing like where you find like an old flash drive or an MP3 player or something, and you're just like, man, this is where it started. Like you'll just see like a bunch of System of a Down songs and then like one Rob Zombie song. You're like, that was what started the first, like the Rob Zombie era. And then I listen further into that. You find another one. It might have a bunch of Rob Zombie tracks and then just like a Slipknot track. You know, like a Korn track, or just it just keeps going up and up.
And then a lot of the bands that I was listening to maybe around 2006 or something like that, some of them I've gone back and been like, this isn't as good as I remember it being. Like the recording quality
it's like playing
so
retro
bad
games,
like
just
that.
like the pixels are just really showing.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, man. So that's some of the history of like, you know, background and things like that. But as far as like you with the band, are you original member?
Yes, yeah. I'm an original member since October 2008. I think we've been actually technically going, but we didn't release our first proper CD, our EP, until October 2010. So. That's
cool.
when I mark as the beginning of the band, maybe, I guess. Yeah.
Man, like I said, it's good to see. I've said in previous shows, like we spoke to Todd from Psychroptic, who's the newest member of Psychroptic, and it's interesting to have different perspectives of the band over time.
Yeah.
Gone over the years, has there been any changes, adaptations to any new members, or you know?
Yeah, I mean, we've had. We haven't been without our share of lineup changes. I definitely think the lineup's like the strongest it's ever been right now, particularly in terms of, you know, working together as a team on tour and things like that, and how it all, like, we've got the writing formula down. Everything runs pretty smoothly these days. Whereas, you know, as a younger band, you're always kind of finding your feet and working out who's doing what and whose job's what and how it all works. So, it's been interesting, I guess, seeing the band kind of shift and try out new directions over the course of its career, which in retrospect is not really that long of a career. Like, I feel like almost every album has its own flavor, and I think that, you know, it's a positive thing for us because it leaves us an opportunity to, you know, to have less boundaries, I suppose, when it comes to writing. You know, we don't have to think so much about, like, this is not a Make Them Suffer song. This is not something that Make Them Suffer fans will like. You know, I think some people cling on to, like, Neverbloom and, like, the first experience they had for us, whereas other people, they grow with us and enjoy all the albums, and that's just the way it's gone for us. But I think it's been like a fun ride, and it's been awesome trying to, just exploring all the different sounds that make them stuff it could possibly sound like,
Perfect, man.
Sick.
All right, we'll wrap it up with the track and then close it out with that. So thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for including Canberra in the thing, man. It's cool to see you guys playing in my hometown. So
Definitely, no, for sure. And we always love this venue as well. I think we've got a guitar hanging up on the ceiling somewhere where we all sign it, and feel like we've had a lot of history with this venue. I can't count how many shows we've played here. So
4th or 5th.
Yeah.
And then I think I played 2 of those, and then it's one of the Potbelly, 3 or 4 at the Magpies.
Yeah, that's right. I think we played a couple shows at Magpies and one at Potbellies, which was probably the most interesting Canberra show I've ever played. But love Canberra, love this place. So
cool, man. All right, well,
thanks, man. And it's an honour to have you on.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show here on Canberra Metalheads. Hey, welcome to the special second interview edition of Canberra Metalheads. We've got Marky Malphas
and JDecay.
Joined here with the guys from Saviour. So from left to right, we've got...
Hey, I'm Matta. I play drums.
And I'm Shantae, and I sing and play keys.
Excellent. Good to have you guys on...
Fucking clean vocals.
Clean vocals?
I'm not the heavy guy.
Oh, man, I like the... I do actually have to admit I didn't know a lot about Saviour prior to, say, like, early this year. I heard you guys. There was actually a bar manager, Dylan, that showed me you guys, because
cool.
When we're closing down, I work here as well, and like at the end of the night when we're closing down, we just put on the PA and just crank music while we're cleaning and stuff. And you guys were always a go-to band that he'd choose.
Oh, that's sick. That's awesome.
So it's really cool.
Yeah.
We usually play a couple tracks in the show at the top of the interview. Is there a track that you wanted to play for the listeners?
Probably Never Sleep. It's like our newest one. That one's doing really well. So
You took my choice.
oh, we can share. Oh, even Headstrong. Headstrong's another good one. They're 2 new ones.
Yep.
But Never Sleep.
Never
Never Sleep's a
Sleep.
wicked track. Yeah.
Never Sleep at the top there. And then we'll be able to play
Headstrong. Yeah.
Headstrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, at the end.
Yeah. We're playing both of those tracks tonight, so you'll get to hear both of them.
Excellent. Well, a lot of people that come out to the gigs, like I was saying with before with the Make Them Suffer interview, this gig's been announced for a while, so like we've had like a good lead up and a good chance for everyone to sort of get in, choose a favourite track and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's good to also know what sort of songs is coming on the stage as well.
Yeah. I think with this tour anyway, we, especially because playing with like such a heavy lineup, we've sort of tried to pick tracks off of just about every album, hey, because we were a little heavier in the earlier days. I'd say now we're a lot more melodic. So, but just to sort of
mixture.
Just to sort of fit the bill. Yeah.
Our new stuff is definitely a mixture of both.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to sort of mix it up. You hear bands over the years, they're heavier and sometimes they have like a more melodic song.
Yeah.
But it's good, and also adding the extra element of keys in there as well. I mean, obviously, you want that to shine through. I mean, guitar, bass, all that sort of string instruments, you can play them at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's you kind of need keys to shine through a lot of the time.
That's a whole other element, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially Shantae. Shantae adds an element that a lot of bands don't have, and I think that's what makes us stand out a lot from other bands, you know what I mean? It's a cool thing to have. It actually works in our favour, really.
Cool.
Sick. Yeah.
We've actually the second band we've had with a keyboard player. So I do have a little bit of knowledge.
It's a total Perth thing, hey?
It's so we've had Deathbeds on the show, which is a Canberra
cool.
sort of deathcore band that just put out an album, and their newest, I think not newest, but not original member. They didn't start with a keyboardist, and they bought that element in. Have you guys always had keys?
No, so that's kind of the same situation, I guess. So Saviour have been a band for what, like 10?
Yeah, pretty close to 10 years. I reckon
9.
pretty close. Yeah, just
11 actually.
because they had that first
2008.
ridiculous EP. Yeah, about 11 years.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for a while.
yeah, I think about 3 to 4 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, I joined the band.
Yep.
So I guess Saviour, they were very heavy, and then they broke up for like a year and a half.
Yeah, about that.
And then just decided to give it another shot with me as another element, like in a live thing, because in the live thing, and in I guess the live performances. I guess before that I was on both albums.
Yep.
But it was more just like a studio thing, helping out my mates. So I just jump in the studio.
She was almost like the unofficial sixth member.
I was. Like, they called it Laptop Snowy, so they take the laptop around on tour.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with it, but Brian actually hit me up one day out of the blue and said, would you sing one line on one track on our album? I was like, yeah, why not? So I get there, I do that line, that was Vomit. And then... Vomit is a track name, by the way.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I got a couple more. I was like, all right. So one line turned into like 8 or 9 songs on the first album.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened with the second album.
Yep.
And then, by the third album, I was a part of the band. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. I mean, we've got... a bit more inside knowledge with that kind of like having a keyboardist in the band. I know, Inhuman Remnants, Jay's band is moving towards some more like melodic and keyboard stuff.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of other arrangements as well, like orchestrals or anything like that? Or just strictly keys?
In the band.
So like strings or horns or...
Or do I write that stuff in our tracks?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's usually Gerber, I guess.
Yeah, anything that is like to do with like outside sampling, so like strings and horns and anything like that. Like we do use a fair bit of strings and stuff, but that'll be like an after production thing. So once we've hit the studio, the guy that we record with, he'll start putting stuff like that into the tracks, and that's really what actually brings it all together.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do that in my solo stuff, but as
sick.
for Saviour stuff, like, no.
Yeah, you want to shout out your solo project?
Well, I haven't. I've got some stuff going, and I haven't released it yet, but I'm very excited about it. It's like a kind of grunge rock vibe, kind of like a Pixies thing. But I've been playing live for about 10 years.
Sick.
It was always a folk project, so I've got a few, like acoustic style EPs from back when I was younger. So I haven't released something about 6 years, so I'm going to be doing that, which is exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I said, man, you guys stick out on the bill, but also fit with it as well. It's like a good dynamic to have.
Yeah. I think it's cool having a bit of a mix-up of bands on a bill as well.
Yeah.
Having a bit of dynamic always helps,
For sure, man.
And also... having MTS as our best mates is like a
it.
really good element to the tour.
Yeah, that's also going to help us getting on this tour.
Yeah.
But something that we've wanted to do for a very, very long time. I don't think, because Saviour and MTS always played together in Perth, like always. We all grew up together, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So being able to go out on the road with them, I don't think it's happened.
That actually
Yeah,
came up in the
best
last
mates.
interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did touch on that with the last interview. So it's good to have that crossover.
Yeah, no, they're the homies. They're our mates, We're super stoked to be here with them. And it's sick to see where they've come from, just like at our local back home, it's a place called HQ. Like
that came up in the Parkway Drive video, man.
Yeah, that's exactly. It was like Don't Close Your Eyes, I think. It was like one of their first videos.
No. What was the Parkway track? I can't. It was in... If you've forgotten already, just listen back to the last interview, and the name of the song is in there.
Yeah. Well, that was cool. I think that was one of their first videos, and that was where our scene started.
Don't close your eyes.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was cool. Yeah.
Sorry.
So we all you're such an idiot. We've all like I said, we've all grown up together. It's cool to see that they've come so far. They're touring the world, and they've come from this little skate park venue that we all used to play together. So it's sick.
I nearly feel like how when they interview people separately to see if the story checks out, you guys are just saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like it's legit because you're both saying the same thing.
That's a good thing.
It's like you had it straight. You had like a trip over from Perth to get the story right.
Okay,
we all
guys.
just sat next to each other on the plane.
Make sure we all say the same thing. We need to seem consistent.
We actually hate
Also,
each
I
other.
fucking hate you.
Shout out to we just got to get the Parkway Drive drop in there, man. Yeah, but that's cool, man. So speaking of the trip over, did you guys fly or make the trip?
I've been
Yeah,
she got everywhere.
lucky. She got lucky.
Yeah.
So we all flew Perth to Adelaide, then Adelaide to Melbourne.
Yep.
And then because Shantae and Booker, bloody best mates, they just like live in each other's socks.
Yeah.
Those two, Booker, has hooked Shantae up with a flight over to Canberra. So the rest of us boys, us suckers, had to do the 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
But Shantae probably got the Virgin Lounge.
I did. I've had that from Melbourne to Perth,
Yeah,
and then
you
Perth
prick.
to Adelaide, and then Adelaide to Melbourne, and then Melbourne to Canberra.
Absolute divas, I tell you.
Bloody hell.
It's sick. Booker's the best.
Getting some
poor
friggin'
as
flyer
fuck right
points
now.
up, you know. But yeah, that's cool. So you're coming over, and you guys, I've got like a full tour as part of this as well. Like the whole going through, you know, you got Adelaide, Melbourne.
Yeah, we're on the whole tour.
doing
so
the
it's
whole
sick.
thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear, man. Like I love it when bands come through Canberra instead of just doing the Sydney
I
Melbourne.
think it's cool as well. I mean, we came here probably a year ago, I think, with a bird and earth caller.
No, about October.
No, it was about April.
Oh wait, that we didn't come here for.
We didn't come here for that other one. No. Yeah, it was about. I think it was April last year we were here.
Yep.
Yeah, and even when we came out then, everyone was like super stoked that we brought some bands through and stuff. So I think that's really.
Oh man, that's exactly what I was thinking before. Like you've got, it's not only is it like bands are coming through Canberra, but also from Perth. Like
Yeah.
that's a mad hike. When a lot of the times you don't get a lot of Perth metal. Is there aside from Make Them Suffer, is there any other bands that you guys sort of like know from the scene? Like
from Perth?
Yeah, just
Oh,
local
man, there's
local
some good
homies.
ones. Vacant
Many.
Home. Vacant Home. They're a sick band. They're blowing up at the moment, I think.
Okay.
Who else we got? There's a band called
Are we just talking Perth bands?
Perth. It's a
Like
little
Yeah, just
Shangri-La?
Perth.
Shangri-La.
So
Shangri-La.
Our old guitarist Lindsay is in that band
Yeah.
now. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, he is good. I nailed that. Self high five. Love you, Linz.
Yeah, they are. They're a great band. You
Yeah.
see them, but they're more of like a rock and roll sort of style. Like
That's cool,
indie
yeah,
rock,
yeah.
but they kill it, man.
It's
they're-
always-
and actually all of those boys came from playing in heavy bands. They were in a
Yeah.
band called Common Bond,
Okay.
and then they had a bit of a lineup change, and they changed it to Shangri-La. They released some heavy tracks, and then they disappeared for about a year, and then came back with this like super sick sort of just like rock vibe. And
Excellent.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's it, man. I get some I get good reports about metal from Perth, man. I haven't been over there myself,
Yeah,
but
Perth has a cool scene.
yeah,
Perth has a sweet scene. Yeah.
it's good, man. And the good thing is like just through things like this podcast and social media and just word of mouth, I'm hearing about all these bands that I didn't know existed all the way from Perth.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm hearing about like we had Psychroptic on the show before.
Yeah.
Stuff from Tassie, you know, you just would have never known before. Guys that are doing international tours, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, see, Tassie's one that we haven't gotten to yet, but we really want to get to. I think Saviour did one
Back in the
festival
day,
there.
I think they did.
They did a festival. Actually, I remember
with the
Bryant.
lineup when-
Yeah, Bryant was saying something about he played the show, and then like two artists later, Macklemore was playing, and then he was standing side of stage watching Macklemore, and who's that guy that was a big clock around his Flavor Flav? Yeah. And Bryant was just like, what is going on here?
I just love those mixed bills, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're rolling up on time now. We ran through just an overview of the band.
Yeah,
I
cool.
always like to. I could go on for like hours, and I've done it before. Some of the early podcasts, we had Callum from Honest Crooks on the
sweet.
show, and we only really needed like 20 minutes, man. We ended up doing an hour and a half
Yeah,
playing
that's
like a
sick.
bunch of tracks. We'd be like talking, chuck a CD in the player,
Yeah.
play a track.
Oh, that's
like,
cool. Yeah.
So it's always good to be able to do those, man. But at least we've got a taste for the band for now, and also for what's in store for tonight.
Like,
sweet.
if you want, I can do like a bunch of like bird calls at the end, like, you know, just fill up some space.
Yeah.
You know, really good. Like, you go like.
Go on, give him a bird call. This is what I get to do within a tour van all the time.
Man,
Look, I could go on, but it's I got an exclusive channel for that. Like, I haven't made it yet, but when it goes up, it's gonna blow the fuck up.
I tell you what's great about that. Like, if I need more space, I can just duplicate it multiple
Or
times
you can
and maybe remix.
So you could have that as like your
remix for
opening to your show now.
Yeah, get out the drum machine, like the soundboard and stuff.
And now a baby goat.
Oh man, we're just yeah, it's funny. We always like to have a laugh and things like that on the show, but we'll close it up with the final track. But yeah, anyway, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
And thanks for
so
dropping
much.
through Canberra, and also anyone that's listening back after seeing the gig. Hope you enjoyed watching Saviour on the Australian tour.
Yeah,
Closing it out here on Canberra Metalheads.
What's up? How are you?
Oh, good, man, good. Yeah, so I run a podcast/radio show in Canberra called Canberra Metalheads. And, we just thought we'd queue up this interview so that we can have a chat about the upcoming tour on the 25th, coming to Canberra with Chelsea Grin and obviously Born of Osiris with yourself.
Yeah. We're stoked. We got everything pretty much in order. We got a bunch of gear worked on, getting ready to get it in some new flight cases to fly over there. And I live in San Diego now, but I have to go back to Chicago, so I go back Saturday to Chicago. Then we got a bunch of flights over to Brisbane, and we do the tour, and then I go probably out of Perth back to Chicago, back down to San Diego. So the next 2 weeks are going to be, pretty hectic, but we're really excited. We haven't been to Australia since 2014. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's it, man. Well, it sounds like a pretty busy time. Your role in the band, like for anybody that's listening that's not 100% familiar, you do keyboard at the moment, is that right?
Keyboard and vocals.
Yeah.
So the new, on all our records I do vocals, but the newest record, The Simulation, I've kind of taken over as more of the leads, doing a lot of the choruses and trade-offs with Ronnie, our main vocalist. So It's been super fun to get out and be more of a frontman, essentially. I've always kind of been, but just definitely taking on that role more has been it's been really fun. So
that's it, man. Well, sometimes you see bands with like multiple people that want to be frontmen, so it's like a battle to get to the front of the stage.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, man, we've got an Australian punk band called Wolfpack, and the front man is the drummer, like he does vocals, and it's just cool to see different dynamics like that.
Yeah. We've definitely, like I said, we've always kind of had the dual vocals going, so Ronnie and I are very used to sharing the stage, and so it's nothing new, but it's just, for me, it's been cool. Like, I've kind of dialed in a new type of screaming over the last few years, like tonal screaming. And so getting to do a lot more of that on the new record has been, I guess it's exciting is how I'd put it. I feel excited to get on stage and show like a new style. So.
Yeah, awesome, man. That's good to hear. We've been following the new album drop with, you mentioned before, The Simulation coming out, and that's mostly, I'm assuming, what you guys will be playing on stage, tracks from that album.
Yeah, we're playing I think we're playing 5 from that album, and then we're playing a bunch of old school goodies from the first record, and some scattered stuff from the records in between. Yeah, so it's a good rounded out of all the music that we have out. But yeah, we're just excited. We've been working. We just had 3 months off, which is a lot for us. So we have a ton of new stuff that we're currently, sending demos back and forth to each other, and working on vocals and different keyboard parts, switching stuff around. So I think. Later this year, we're going to head back in the studio, and I know The Simulation only had 8 tracks, so we're going to try and do more of like a official full length and get at least, 12 to 15 tracks out.
Perfect. That sounds really good, man. Sort of like I said, you do a little bit of research coming into interviews just to get a bit of the background stuff, and just obviously why we do interviews is to learn a little bit more about the members behind the band. And I stumbled upon a video interview from like 2013, 14 when you first got the Back to the Future tattoo.
Oh, nice.
And also part of that, the shrimp tattoo that the whole band's got. That's pretty cool to see that like connection as well.
Yeah. We, so I know Cameron has a ton. Some of the members only have a few of those matching ones.
Yeah.
For me, I'm consistent with my leg of we call it the refrigerator magnet leg. I recently just got a slice of pizza.
Yeah, nice.
My good buddy was in town, so I got a big slice of pizza. I did the beginning of a Cubs logo for Chicago, but yeah, I'm actually running out of room. I had to get the pizza like almost on my knee because I don't have much space left, and I got some plans for some Rick and Morty stuff, and I want to get a C3PO tattoo. So it's funny because I spend lots of money on tattoos all over my arms and neck, and when I'm walking down the street in shorts, everybody just looks at the at the culture funny ones at my leg. I get more compliments on those than the expensive nice ones.
That's it, man. Well, it's what grabs attention. Like, you're talking to a dude that's got a portrait of John Candy on my calf.
Oh, nice. Dude, I love John Candy.
Sick, man. Well,
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, man, I love that. The scene was from Uncle Buck where he kicks in the door with a drill.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
I'll have to, to show you when you're in town, man. I'll be at the gig.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you going to be at the show?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Sweet.
So, like, you've got the tour coming up with Chelsea Grin. You guys been pretty tight in the past. What's it like, getting through the whole tour together? You guys, like, mesh really well as a touring band?
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, when we tour the States, we have our, like, buses, bandwagons or whatever. And so, they like to do their thing on theirs. We like to do our thing on theirs. And we hang out, obviously, and stuff. But with Australia tours, it's more, we have vans and we have to be in the venue more. So I think this Australia run will be kind of more of a time when we get to hang out with them more closely together.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to just bro down, I guess you could say, with some more of the members.
Yeah, that's how it works, man. And also the venues are all really happy for everyone to chill. I know at the basement they've got the green room out the back and they deliver food to you guys and all that sort of stuff. So it's like a good area to hang out.
Yeah, it'll be good vibes to smoke and drink and chill.
That's it, man. That brings us up to the 10-minute mark, so I'll let you go with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, actually, I got to go meet my girlfriend, so.
Yeah, man, like I said, I'm just stoked to be able to have a chat with you, man, and I'm really looking forward to the Canberra show coming up on the 25th at the basement. Perfect, man. Thank you very much.
All right, sounds good, man. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, man. See you around.
Bye. Hey, this is Joe Buras from Born of Osiris, and you're listening to Metalheads Canberra.
Bam!